Hello, welcome to the Katy Sissine Show, addressing the indoctrination of the nation. I'm your host, Katy Sissine, and happy Friday morning to all of you tuned in live out there today. And remember, if you can't stay tuned in for the entire live show, it will be posted directly onto YouTube after it airs live at 10:30. You can check out our YouTube video archives and search for it there, or you can just look up my name on YouTube, Katy Sissine. So, yesterday, we left off discussing the Clinton scandals, and we talked about the Iran-Contra Scandal and how the Clintons were involved in that, as at the time, Bill Clinton was the former governor of Arkansas, or he was the governor of Arkansas at the time, and Hillary was his first lady. Now, that occurred during the Reagan administration, but it also occurred because of the Clintons and their participation in the corruption that took place at the Mina airport, where cocaine was smuggled in at the Mina airport with military cargo planes, and weapons and Contra-trained fighters were smuggled out. It served as a base to train Contra fighters to send back to Central America, and it also served as a place to produce weapons that were sent to Israel and then sent from Israel to Iran. Very strange connection, as the relations between the three nations of United States, Israel, and Iran are not exactly all amicable as a whole. So, and that was the same case then. We also talked about the WhiteWater scandal, the real estate scam, where the Clintons were not prosecuted whatsoever, but evidently affiliated with and worked very closely with the McDougalls, who were both prosecuted on counts of fraud and felony. But Clinton was pardoned. And I suppose both Clintons were pardoned. Now, the WhiteWater scandal, it really tarnished the Clintons' reputation, and especially Hillary Clinton's. It was the first time that it had really gotten out in the public that the Clintons were corrupt, and the Iran-Contra scandal came back to bite them a little bit later as well. And we can see there the truth about WhiteWater, where they tried to, enhance the Clintons' image. They did the same thing for Bill, and they did the same thing for Hillary. Obviously, there's being money given under the table to these media outlets to ensure that they protect the images of these evidently guilty people. Now we're moving on to a more recent and more traumatic occurrence and scandal that occurred due to Hillary Clinton in some way whatsoever. Some people say we shouldn't blame Hillary Clinton for it. Some people say she is entirely to blame. And I don't know if you've guessed what it is already, but it's Benghazi. Benghazi occurred September 11th of 2012. 4 U.S. officials were victimized during the Libyan civil revolution. They were residing they were having meetings at the U.S. consulate in Libya, at Benghazi, Libya, at the U.S. consulate there, and they killed Chris Stevens and 3 other American officials during this event. So it was very traumatic. There was footage of Chris Stevens, the U.S. ambassador who was prior sent over to Benghazi, Libya by Hillary Clinton, at the time Secretary of State.
So here's what troubles me. Your experts knew the truth. Your spokesperson knew the truth. Greg Hicks knew the truth. But what troubles me more is I think you knew the truth. I want to show you a few things here. You're looking at an email you sent to your family. Here's what you said. At 11 o'clock that night, approximately 1 hour after you told the American people it was a video, you say to your family, 2 officers were killed today in Benghazi by an Al-Qaeda-like group. You tell the American people one thing, you tell your family an entirely different story. Also, on the night of the attack, you had a call with the president of Libya. Here's what you said to him. Ansar al-Sharia is claiming responsibility. It's interesting, Mr. Katala, one of the guys arrested and charged, actually belonged to that group. And finally, and most significantly, the next day, within 24 hours, you had a conversation with the Egyptian Prime Minister. You told him this. We know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. Let me read that one more time. We know, not we think, not it might be, we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. State Department experts knew the truth. You knew the truth, but that's not what the American people got. And again, the American people want to know why. Why didn't you tell the American people exactly what you told the Egyptian Prime Minister?
The free world again. So as you can see, Hillary Clinton, she really was at a loss for words. She even smiled. If I was on trial for something so critical, such as an ambassador being drugged through the streets and abused and murdered, I don't think I'd be smiling at all. It's very strange that she was smiling whatsoever during the Benghazi hearing, and in addition to the overt lies that she told and continued to deny during the trial. The American people know that she lied, but the fact that she can't admit it is what makes it so appalling. See, if Clinton had just, come out and said, I did portray it to the American people as something that it was not, then it would be a different story. But for whatever reason, she couldn't say that, which means there's more to it. That makes her even more corrupt than the American people already think she is. Anyway, we got to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back with you for the Katy Sissine Show, Part 2 of Friday.
It's a new year. New you at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper. Ring in the new year with huge deals on a brand new Ford. Right now, get exceptional offers like 0% financing plus a $1,500 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford F-150 XLT. Or get 0% financing plus a $1,000 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford Explorer. Make your resolution a reality during the New Year, New You sales event at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper, home of the Schottenkirk Customer Guarantee. Visit us online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Welcome back to the Katy Sissine Show. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at KatyFYNTV. Now, we were talking about the conspiracies, the Clinton conspiracies, aka the Clinton scandals. We discussed the WhiteWater scandal, the real estate scam. We discussed the Iran-Contra scandal, and now we're discussing Benghazi and what really tipped Hillary over the edge as a liar, and why many Americans today still consider her a liar, because after the Benghazi attacks, she obviously lied during the hearing about lying to the American people and blaming the attack at the Benghazi consulate, at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, on a video, and that the people were protesting instead of telling the American people the truth, that it was in fact an attack. It was a terrorist attack by a group affiliated with Al-Qaeda. Now, she admitted this in emails that we just saw in part 1 of the episode, where we showed the Benghazi hearing, and they revealed the emails that she had sent out to the president of Libya, the prime minister of Egypt at the time, and that she had also sent to her family, where she acknowledged that there was an attack. And she didn't say the word protest. She didn't blame it on protest, at least, in any of the emails, but yet she told the American people that the cause was the YouTube video that sparked a protest. Now, that poor kid that was blamed for the YouTube video, and I've totally forgotten about him. You know, if I could redo this, I would show footage of that video, but I don't have that here for us today. But I do want to continue with the Benghazi hearing and show one more clip from that, where we see Hillary Clinton try to maneuver around the truth. She smiles, portraying herself as relaxed, but it's obvious and it's undeniable that she's lying here. So let's check this out.
Well, I think if you look at the statement that I made, I clearly said that it was an attack, and I also said that there were some who tried to justify it on the basis of the video, Congressman. And I think
but real quick, calling it an attack is like saying the sky's blue. Of course, it was an attack.
Well,
we want to know the truth. The statement you sent out was a statement on Benghazi, and you say vicious behavior as a response to inflammatory material on the internet. If that's not pointing as the motive of being a video, I don't know what is. And that's certainly how the American people saw it.
Well, Congressman, there was a lot.
So there you have it, folks. If you can't tell that she's lying, then I don't know how else I can prove it to you. Anyway, moving on to discuss another victim. We discussed Chris Stevens, the ambassador of the U.S. that Hillary Clinton sent over, who was infamously, drugged through the streets by the terrorist attackers in Benghazi. And now we're moving on to another victim, one of 4 U.S. officials that were killed, Mr. Sean Smith. Recently, in 2016, his mother, whose name is Pat Smith, maybe Patricia Smith, she made a statement about Hillary Clinton regarding Clinton running for presidency, and she's very strongly opposed to Clinton running for presidency. Pat said that Sean, her son, called her the night before the attacks on the consulate in Benghazi. And he told his mom, and there was a bombing there, and they were attacked, and there were 4 notable U.S. official victims, and Sean Smith is one of those, along with Chris Stevens, of course. So anyway, Sean Smith called his mom, Pat, the night before it happened and told her he was going to die. So he knew that there was something going on. He knew the U.S. wasn't going to help him. Bear in mind, he still had 24 hours at this point to get something done, but for some reason, he was not given aid. Now, if there was something the U.S. could have done, then why didn't they do it between the 24 hours that Mr. Sean Smith called his mother and told her he was going to die, between that call and then between the next night when the bombings occurred? Now, why wasn't something done within those 24 hours? Because obviously the U.S. had to know. Obviously the administration had to know. So the fact that they essentially let these men die is atrocious and it's sad. And now we're going to take a look. It's just a couple minutes, this video from the Associated Press. It was just published in 2016. And this is Miss Pat Smith, mother of Sean Smith, victim of Benghazi, speaking on behalf of her son and on behalf of the American people about Miss Hillary Clinton.
For all of this loss, for all of this grief, for all of the cynicism, the tragedy in Benghazi has wrought upon America, I blame Hillary Clinton. I blame Hillary Clinton personally for the death of my son. That's personally. Hillary Clinton is a woman, a mother, and a grandmother of two. I am a woman, a mother, and a grandmother of two. How could she do this to me? This entire campaign comes down to a single question. If Hillary Clinton can't give us the truth, why should we give her the presidency? That's right, Hillary for prison. She deserves to be in stripes.
So that's a perfect example of one of her scams that she was involved with that came back to bite her, and it came back to bite her really badly, along with all of the other scandals, including the ones I did not mention during her own run for presidency, her own campaign. Now, we can see the people in that video were protesting Hillary for prison, and Miss Pat Smith says she deserves to be in stripes. Again, if you weren't tuned in before we showed the video, Pat Smith is the mother of Sean Smith, a State Department employee who was killed in the Benghazi attacks, along with Chris Stevens and 2 additional officials from the U.S. And it also occurred on September 11th. Obviously, this was a terrorist attack. You know, it occurred on September 11th. Just in addition to the fact that Hillary Clinton's email said it wasn't attacked, the American people probably could deduce that just by the date that it occurred alone. So Smith blamed Hillary Clinton for the death of her son in that video. We clearly saw that, and that's a big deal. That is no small fry. That is not something to look over when considering who you're voting for president. When a woman comes out who is personally related, whose son called her and made it apparent that he would not receive proper protection from the U.S., to where he was, who placed him in this country of civil war. And, you know, we have his mother speaking out, saying that one of the candidates who's running for president should be in prison. Now, this is a big deal. And thank goodness that she is not in the White House, because if she was, I may not even be here doing my show today and talking to all you people about the facts here. So, some quotes that I noted from Miss Pat Smith's speech is that for all the tragedy, I blame Hillary Clinton personally for the death of my son. She blames her personally. She said that at his memorial, that Clinton even went up to her, Hillary Rodham Clinton went up to Pat Smith and said that it was not her fault, and was very rude to Miss Smith. And she did not try to apologize to Miss Smith for anything. So basically she came off as pompous to Ms. Smith at her son's memorial. She also said, if Hillary Clinton cannot give us, the American people, the truth, why should we give her the presidency? And that's a great point. Most people I spoke to, even on college campus, said that they didn't want to vote for either Clinton or Trump. And most of those people were liberals. I said, well, you're a liberal, why don't you support Hillary? And they said, well, she's a liar, she's a killer, she should be in prison. So then we get the slogan, Hillary for prison, that we heard in this interview, in this speech by Pat Smith, and that we hear all over the world today. Does she deserve to be in prison? Does she deserve to be in stripes? I don't know. Mother of Sean Smith, U.S. official who was killed in Benghazi, believes so. Do you believe so? Well, that's for you to decide. Anyway, we've had a great week. We've discussed Mr. George Soros and how he's represented by Hillary Clinton in the United States. We also discussed, the several conspiracies that the Clintons were involved in that came back to bite them, that are really coming back to bite them now. And we discussed Trump's construction of the wall and many people's opinions on that. We heard from a couple guest speakers this week, and that was great to have them on the air. I really appreciated that. And I've got some good news. FYN TV has made it, FYNTV.com has made it all the way to Italy. We've got international viewers. So nationalism is being promoted in the US, and this nationalism can help promote nationalism in all nations respectively, making each nation and ultimately the world a more secure and prosperous place. My friend Fabio, who resides in Udine, Italy, which is about 30 minutes outside of Venice, he posted a video of him watching my show because he wants the world to know he supports FYN TV and he supports the protection of borders. Fabio understands that this is not only for the greater good of the American people, but essentially the greater good for all people in order to protect culture. As we know, open borders would essentially dissolve culture. If you've been tuned into the show regularly, then you know about the indoctrination of the nation, and you know that open borders seeks to dissolve culture. That would be a product of the movement. Now remember to stay tuned in with more news on the indoctrination of your nation, the American nation. Stay tuned in to the Katy Sissine Show, only on FYNTV.com and in our Fetch Your News video archives. You can also search my name on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.